If you stay in Uyo along Itam Park, you cannot miss Jday the mechanic's shop. His workshop sits right by the roadside, where keke horns never stop blaring, where fish sellers are shouting, fresh afon, and the suya smoke fills the air like evening fog. Jday himself is another kind of scenery. He is tall and dry, always inside one greasy overall that looks like it's fought with engine oil and lost. A toothpick is permanently balanced at the corner of his mouth, as if it is antenna for picking customer signals. And he swaggers around like a village chief that owns the entire road. Jday is not just loud, he is a performing menace. From evening till night, you will hear his booming voice hailing passers-by. Oga Chairman, correct customer. Now you dey shine today. He would call out, smiling wildly like a goat that has seen grass to chop. The truth about Jday is simple. He was a mechanic by name, not by skill. No matter the problem you brought to him, he would first lean against the bonnet, squint his eyes like a professor and say, this thing dey serious so. But no worry, I get the original parts from Toyota Japan, so I will change it for you, clean. Meanwhile, the so-called Toyota Japan was really their local Abak market, where he bought the parts for 500 naira after bargaining and shouting, Abasimbak, reduce price now. His workshop was not really a workshop, but a collection of scattered spanners, old tires, a leaking umbrella, and a wooden bench where apprentices dozed off. But because Jiday's mouth was sweeter than honey, people still brought their cars. But of course, not a single car ever left that workshop completely healed. The boldness of his lies was legendary. And because of it, Jday always got away. People gossiped about him. How he used customers' cars to run errands. How he once carried his girlfriend Imabong all the way to Tropicana Mall inside somebody's Camry. How he even drove a customer's Corolla to attend a burial in Ekotekmene, claiming he was just test driving. Yet, nobody has ever caught him red-handed. If you gave him your car, he would park it in his corner during the day. But once evening came like this, Jday would clean himself up, wear his sunglasses like Don Jazzy, and drive off for night waka. Some said he carried pepper soup from a plaza back to his house in a customer's boot. Others swore they saw him cruising in one Toyota Highlander down Oron Road with music loud enough to wake the ancestors. But the funniest part, no matter the lies, no matter the failures, people still went to him. Why, you may ask? Because he was the only mechanic on that stretch of road. And because in Uyo, people like Jday survive by confidence. And Jiday's confidence could fill a football stadium. So one morning, his workshop at Itam Park was already bubbling with wahala. Jday had barely finished sipping his pure water when Mama Ekaite busted in. Her head tie tilted to the side like he was fighting the morning breeze. She was holding her phone with one hand and dragging her smoking Corolla with the other. Jday, Abasimbak, so this is what you call repair, eh? She shouted with a very loud, angry voice. I paid you 100,000 naira last week. And look, my motor still dey cough like old man wey get asthma. The car gave a perfect demonstration of boom, poof, poof, poof. Then black smoke puffed like burning trash. People in the streets burst into laughter. But Jday, as usual, didn't flinch. He wipes his oily hand in his rag, removed the toothpick from his mouth, and said with confidence, Mama Ekaite, calm down, be calming down. Dat smoke wey you dey see so, na sign of strength. Dis motor don graduate. Na V8 smoke be dat. Ha! Mama Ekaite stamped her feet, pointing with anger. V8 kill you there. If I don't get my money, Jday, you will see my true color. But Jday did not even move. She said, Mbak, women no dey understand engineering. What do you expect? Not long after, another storm arrived. This time, it was Pastor Aniefiok, still wearing his cassock from the previous night's failed crusade. He held his Bible under his armpit as he walked into the workshop. Brother Jday, the pastor began, you repaired this church bus, but on our way to Itu for ministration, the thing broke down. Do you know how many souls missed salvation because of you? People in the entire workshop went silent for a moment. Then Jday cleared his throat and delivered another classic lie. Pastor Abasimbok, this one passed me, oh. True. I swear. That bus problem no be mechanical. You understand, Na spiritual. Devil no want make the gospel reach it too. Na warfare attack, pastor. Hey, people have started to gather by then. Jyday's shop neighbors did not miss a good laugh when customers come to confront him. So as he said it was a spiritual attack, everyone exploded with laughter. One man shouted, Pastor, next time cast and bind the carburetor. Another one added, Pastor, maybe the witches entered your exhaust pipe. Pastor Aniefiok raised his hand dramatically and said, the Lord will judge you, Jday. And then he stormed off. By evening, Jday had become the gist of the neighborhood. Shops and tenants from the nearby compounds gathered on wooden benches outside Mama Grace's shop, sipping kunu and tearing puff-puff with hunger while throwing banter about him. One young man said, I hear say Jday used person Camry last month to attend burial in Ekotebene. He even put banner call to glory on the motor, like saying a family car. Another woman replied, He even used my husband's car to carry goats. The seats still smell like goat till today. The people laughed until tears came out of their eyes. But the sad truth is that they were all tired of Jday, and that by the next day, another unsuspecting customer will still roll into Jyday's workshop because his mouth was like sugar and his confidence could confuse even the most careful man. Jday would just dust his rag, smile with his guy man toothpick shining in his mouth, and say, Chairman, your motor dey safe for my hand. If you don't move after I touch him, call me bastard. And the poor customer, not knowing he was about to sponsor another of Jyday's Nkwobi nightlife and big boy escapades, will nod in agreement. One hot afternoon, Jday was stretched out on his wooden bench, with his eyes half closed, pretending to be meditating. But in truth, he done off. He was even snoring lightly. His one leg was dangling, and his toothpick still in his mouth like a permanent trademark. Then he heard the low, smooth horn of an engine. Not the coughing and sneezing of his regular customers' jalopies. This one was different. He sat up immediately, blinking against the sunlight, and then he saw it. A black chala SUV, polished till it shone like fresh palm oil. It slided into his dusty workshop and parked neatly. People walking by slowed down to look. It was not every day such a car entered Jyday's shrine of oily rags and broken spanners. Jyday's heart skipped. He jumped up, wiped his face with his sleeve, and arranged his overall. Then he spread his arms wide like a politician welcoming voters. Oga, bossman, correct chairman of life. Abasimbok, this motor fine pass governor convoy. Na Lexus abi? As they shine. Jday boomed with smiles as he rushed forward. The door opened slowly, and a calm, neat man in his 40s stepped out. He was wearing a white shirt tucked under a well-ironed trousers. His shoes were shining, and the dark shades he had on gave him the aura of someone who had enough money to buy Jyday's entire workshop 200 times over. He spoke quietly, almost too quietly for the chaos of a pack. I just want a routine check. I'm traveling tomorrow, so I need the car in good condition. Jday placed his hand dramatically on the bonnet, as though he was blessing the vehicle, and he said, Oga, na small thing, leave am for me. I go service am well till angels go use am fly go heaven. After my touch, na express road go kneel down, beg this motor to slow down. The man simply nodded and handed over the keys. Good. In 2 hours' time, I'll be back. In the meantime, take care of her. But the moment Mr. Effiong walked away, Jyday's eyes began to dance around. He gripped the keys like they were the keys to paradise. Kai! My God, don't butter my bread today, he whispered to his apprentice. See motorway don't land. See, before I open bonnets first, make I test run am small. How will I be alive and not enjoy this kind of blessing? No, now, just look at. Before anyone could even object, he slipped behind the wheel, and with one loud vroom, the SUV moved onto the road, leaving a cloud of dust behind. His first stop was at a roasted corn stand by the roadside. Jday wound down the glass, leaned back in the seat as if he owned the entire Oyo, and ordered with swagger, Give me one corn and pear, double portion. Abeg put am for fancy nylon, I get important meeting for government's house. The seller, being impressed by the car, served him sharp. Jday collected it with one hand and drove off, chewing loudly, nodding his head to his loud music and honking at keke drivers who dared to cross his path. Next stop was Tropicana Mall. He parked directly in front, right where the security guard usually chased away ordinary taxis. But not today. In fact, today, the guard saluted him. Jday wound down the glass just enough for people to see him. He removed his toothpick, put on the dark shades he found in the glove compartment, and strutted inside as if he was the commissioner of enjoyment. People turned heads. Who be that one? One girl whispered. Now one big man, maybe in the work for oil company, her friend replied. Jyday's chest swelled up. He bought only meat pie and cocoa, and then he came back out slowly, jingling the SUV key so that everybody would see. As if that wasn't enough, he dialed his girlfriend Emma Bong's line. Baby, where are you? Now your chairman they call. Come outside sharp, I want carry you chop small cruise. 30 minutes later, Emma Bong appeared with her wig well straightened and her lips painted like she was going for a wedding reception. She opened the passenger door, came in and gasped. Jday, you mean say na your motor be this? You know they try oh. So you hide out from me all this while, Jday puffed his chest until the buttons of his overall nearly popped open. Baby, na small thing. You know man like me, can't know the hard. I have plenty. I just dey keep on low key because say I dey humble. She giggled and clapped her hands in excitement. Ha, Jday, I don't hammer. All my friends go here win for my hand. Hey! Then, vroom, they drove off with the music blasting so loud that the car's speaker almost busted. Jday pressed the accelerator, laughing and waving at random strangers. He even slowed down to ask a group of boys, Una dey alright? Na so we dey roll for dis place. Imabong munched on roasted corn, tossing the cob out the window like a queen. Jday, abeg carry me pass shelter Afrik. Make my friends and enemies see me for inside big car with tinted glass. Ah, that one na small now. Baby, no wahala. Today na our day. I go show you say your man na big boy, Jday replied, pressing the accelerator even harder. But pride always walks hand in hand with downfall. As they reached Ibiono Road, Jday decided to show off some more. He swerved dangerously, shouting over the music, "Relax, baby, relax. Na Lexus blood dey rush for my vein." Imabong screamed, clutching the dashboard. "Jday, abeg, slow down, abeg, I no wan die. Abasim back." And then, boom, bugudum, boom. Jday saw an oncoming big truck last minute. And then he swerved the steering as fast as possible. But the SUV scraped hard against an electric pole, while the big truck slapped one of the side mirrors off like they were nothing. Hey, the car shuddered and came to a halt. Then the bonnet started bringing out smoke. And then the car fell silent. At this point, nobody knows who turned off the music, but there was utter silence. Imabong's wig shifted to the other side. Her corn rolled on the floor, and her mouth hung open like a faulty door. She looked at Jday with wide, horrified eyes. "Jday, you don't kill me today." "Ah, Abasimbo, who sent me follow you enter this motor? Who sent me?" She came out of the car and left Jday there. Jday himself froze and gripped the steering like it was his last lifeline. His toothpick had fallen from his mouth at this point. Sweat poured down his forehead, dripping into his eyes. He swallowed hard and said, "Ha! My life don't spoil like this. My life don't spoil. How I go take explain this kind gbese? Which kind story fit cover this one, He muttered with trembling voice. For the first time in his entire career, Jday the mechanic, master of excuses, had no excuse. When he finally dragged the SUV into a tampak, he was looking like a goat inside Edikain corn soup, sweating, shaking, and smelling of trouble. The once shining black SUV now carried a scar by its side, as if it had fought with masquerades in the bush. People who saw him coming back began to gather, sensing that Wahala Man was about to perform live drama for them. Jday jumped down quickly, wiped his face with his sleeve, and tried to summon the confidence that had always saved him. He rehearsed the line in his head, adjusted his overall, and unlocked his confidence. He waited patiently, as it was almost 2 hours and Mr. Efyong would soon come around. In less than 15 minutes, he came in a smaller Corolla car and parked neatly again. He stepped down and squinted on seeing his car. He then approached closer, looking really confused. Jday rushed to him and began to rant nonsense. "Oga, as I dey test drive the brake, na so one useless pole just jump enter road. I swear to God, na ordinary scratch o. Because of the way I just managed the whole thing, na just ordinary scratch. Thank God for my driving skills o. Oga, no worry, small paint like this go fix am, no be big deal." But then, before he could finish telling the lie, Mr. Ifyong, who had been standing calmly and observing his car, removed his glasses in slow motion. He still did not say anything, no. He just raised his hand and clicked, as if it was some sort of sign. Almost immediately, his 2 hefty security men stepped out of the car and came forward. These were not ordinary men. Their muscles, looked like they had been marinating in cement and garri water. Their eyes alone could knock sense into a stubborn goat. The first one moved fast, and the next thing we heard was boom! It was a very clean punch, and he landed on Jyday's jaw. Hey! Jday staggered back, holding his face, and his eyes was spinning like a faulty ceiling fan. Before he could balance well, the second security man followed with a heavy boom straight into his stomach. Yay! Jday bent over, folding like akara that refused to fry well. He held his belly, gasping for air. The small crowd that gathered around scattered in laughter, clapping and stomping their feet. Our one in town mechanic don't turn punching bag today, oh, one vulcanizer shouted as he laughed out loudly. Jday, where is your creative storytelling today? Abeg, explain, give us now. Another one mocked, holding his stomach from too much laughter. Even the roasted corn seller couldn't hold it in. She shouted from the back, customer, customer, where they chop my corn from inside Lexus. How market now? Corn still dey your teeth. The whole crowd laughed again. They were enjoying this moment intensely. Jday, now weak and bent over, tried to open his mouth and beg. Oga, beg. Na mistake. I go repair am for you, sir. I swear to God, please. I will repair it. But no sympathy was available that day. Mr. Effiong only shook his head, wore back his glasses, and said gently, "This is just the beginning. Call the police!" Jyday's eyes widened in horror. Ha! Police? Abasim back. Chineke now. Oga me, abeg. No reach that level. Please, sir. I beg, he cried, still clutching his stomach. But the crowd was already chanting, "Police! Police! Police!" as if they were cheering for a football team. For the first time in his life, Jyday's famous confidence failed him completely. His workshop, that was once his stage for lies and bold grammar, had turned into a theater of disgrace. The moment Mr. Effiong said, "Call police," one of the hefty guards had already dialed. Within minutes, the wailing of sirens filled the environment. Wee-wah, wee-wah. People rushed out of their shops. Women abandoned their frying pans. Keke drivers parked carelessly because they just wanted to witness what drama was about to unfold at Jyday's workshop. The police van stopped in front of the workshop and two officers jumped down. Without wasting time, they grabbed Jday by the collar and bundled him into the back like fried plantain entering takeaway nylon. He squealed, "Chineke, Oga officer, abeg na small mistake. I no mean am at all. I dey test the brake, sir. Na brake wey I dey test o, na mistake." But the crowd only shouted louder, "Bundle and well, this man don dey worry us for this area since." And then the floodgates of testimony opened. News spread faster than harmattan breeze. Mama Ekaete arrived first, with her face shining with anger. She pointed at Jday inside the van and screamed, "Lock and where? This man collected 100,000 naira from me and told me my smoke na V8 strength. My car still dey cough like old man till today." The crowd laughed. Next came one taxi driver, sweating and furious. "Officer, this man pour palm oil inside my gearbox. Palm oil! Since then, my taxi still dey fry like akara every morning before it starts." The whole street scattered in laughter. Some people even knelt on the ground, holding their stomach. One woman shouted, "Palm oil mechanic, na stew you dey go cook inside the prison." The testimonies poured in endlessly. The police van turned into a stage with Jday trapped inside like the star actor of disgrace. He tried to defend himself. "Oga police, abeg na lie o, na small misunderstanding o." But the funny thing was that Every time he opened his mouth, another witness shot him down with a fresh accusation. The street became a carnival. Suya men lifted their knives in the air shouting, "Cut am down! Cut am down!" Hawkers abandoned their groundnuts to clap. Keke riders honked like it was a festival. By the time the van finally drove away with him, the entire Etam Park was vibrating with excitement. Some people were still laughing, some were chanting, and others swore they would frame the day's event into a calendar. For years, Jday had lied his way through life, escaping consequences with toothpick and grammar. But this afternoon, every lie gathered together like family meeting and stood against him. His own karma was not silent. It was loud, dramatic, and was broadcasted live, free of charge to the whole of Uyo. The next week, the magistrate's court in Uyo was packed like a village traditional wedding. News had spread like wildfire that Jday, the mechanic of Etam Park, was finally in court. People who didn't even own cars still came to witness the downfall of the man who was famous for lies bigger than the potholes on Abak Road. Jday came into the courtroom in faded brown trousers and an oversized t-shirt that looked like it had been borrowed from the police cell. His swagger was gone. His toothpick was nowhere to be found. He not even see sunglasses wear again. He simply looked like soft overcooked yam without stew. The court clerk read the charges out in loud, clear tone. Theft, fraud, vandalism, and misuse of customers' property. And when the judge, a stern-looking woman with small glasses perched at the top of her nose, asked if he was guilty, Jday shook his head vigorously. "No, my lord, na small misunderstanding. I am an honest mechanic, and my enemies just dey paint me black." The courtroom burst out laughing. Even the judge smiled briefly before banging her gavel. "Order!" Then she said, "Well, we have some people that are willing to testify against you, Mr. Jday. Let's hear them out first and see if you're guilty or not." First was Mama Ekaite with her 100k wahala. Then Mr. Effiong, Lexus man, with enough proof and seriousness. Then came Pastor Effiong, wearing his well-ironed cassock. He lifted his Bible dramatically and said, "My Lord, this same Jday ruined our crusade. He claimed to fix the church bus, but he broke down halfway. When I confronted him, he blamed witches and said Satan attacked the carburetor." Can you imagine? Mechanic blaming witches. The judge covered her mouth briefly before composing herself. The crowd nearly rolled on the floor with laughter. Then the taxi driver testified next with his palm oil gist. Each testimony landed like a blow. The prosecutor didn't even need to talk much. Jiday's reputation was enough evidence. When it was his turn to defend himself, Jday raised his two hands pathetically and said, "My lord, I beg, na small mistake. No be say I dey notorious, so na condition make crayfish bend." "Silence!" the judge thundered. "You are not a mechanic. You are a menace. You have deceived this community long enough. And since you love workshops so much, go and open one in the prison yard." She adjusted her glasses and hit the gavel. "Boy, this court hereby sentence you, Jday the mechanic, to 1 year imprisonment with hard labor." The hall cheered. Some clapped and shouted, "God don't catch am o, every day for the thief, 1 day for the owner." Then Pastor Effiong lifted his Bible and shouted, "Hallelujah, praise the Lord," as if it was crusade victory. Mama Ikaite danced small etigi in the corner, jubilating that she had gotten justice at last. Jday was led out by two policemen, bending his head like a defeated goat. His swagger has melted, his lies were silenced, and his confidence finally retired. That evening, Itam Park was buzzing. Keke riders told the story with exaggerated expressions and hand gestures. Children sang new playground songs about Jide the mechanic, the palm oil engineer. In all, Uyo had found a new legend, not for greatness, but for disgrace. And inside prison walls, Jide finally had all the time in the world to reflect. From chairman of excuses to Oga of wheelbarrow pushing and prison hard labor, his reign had ended, and he had learnt the hard way, and he lived to regret his actions. The end. Moral lessons. When dishonesty becomes the theme of your business, disgrace will eventually become your partner. It is only wisdom to know that trust is more valuable than money. And once you trade it away, you can barely get it back. And with that, Naya Padis, we have come to the end of today's story. I hope you learned a thing or two. And I hope you were very much entertained by this one. I want to thank all my paddies for your unending support and love. I'm sending you all virtual hugs again because my paddies, you guys love hugs, Abby. I'm sending you virtual hugs, personalized virtual hugs this time. Keep showing this small girl love. Keep sharing my videos. If you're here to subscribe, Bikonu, should I kneel down? Please just hit that subscribe button. I beg. And I promise to always deliver premium stories to you guys. Thank you for your love and support. And as always, don't let anyone, even Jide the mechanic, dim your shine. Okay? Until next time. Ngwano. Bye.